Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into another intense episode of the medical drama, The Pitt. This show has quickly gained attention for its realistic hospital environment, emotional patient stories, and the high-pressure life of doctors working in the emergency department. In today's episode, the hospital faces multiple life-threatening situations at the same time, pushing the medical team to their limits. Let's explore the full story of this gripping episode. The episode begins early in the morning inside the hospital's busy emergency department. The night shift is about to end, while the morning team is preparing to take over. Doctors and nurses look exhausted after a long night, but the emergency room never truly slows down. Just as the team starts organizing patient files and preparing for the next shift, the loud siren of an ambulance echoes outside the hospital. Paramedics rush in with a middle-aged man who has been involved in a serious road accident. His body is covered in injuries, and he's lost a lot of blood. The emergency team quickly realizes that his condition is critical. Within seconds, the doctors begin working rapidly to stabilize him. One doctor checks his blood pressure, while another administers oxygen. Nurses prepare medical equipment as the team decides that the patient may need immediate surgery. The atmosphere inside the emergency department becomes tense. Every second matters, and the doctors know that even the smallest delay could cost the patient's life. The senior doctor takes charge of the situation and assigns tasks to every member of the team. Everyone moves quickly, showing the intense teamwork that is required in emergency medicine. While the team is still dealing with the accident victim, another emergency suddenly arrives. A young girl is brought into the hospital suffering from a severe allergic reaction. She's struggling to breathe, and her parents are in complete panic. Now the doctors must handle two critical cases at the same time. One group of doctors focuses on stabilizing the accident victim, while another team works urgently to save the young girl. They quickly administer medication and oxygen in an attempt to control the allergic reaction. The tension in the emergency room increases as both situations remain extremely dangerous. Soon, the emotional side of the story begins to unfold. The son of the accident victim arrives at the hospital after hearing about the crash. When he sees his father in such a critical condition, he becomes overwhelmed with fear. He asks the doctors if his father will survive. The medical team tries to reassure him, but they know that the situation is still very serious. Meanwhile, inside the emergency department, pressure begins to affect the younger doctors. A junior doctor, overwhelmed by the intensity of the situation, makes a small mistake during treatment. The senior doctor quickly corrects it and reminds the team how important it is to stay calm under pressure. This moment highlights the reality of working in a hospital, where every decision can mean the difference between life and death. Soon, the accident victim is rushed into the operating room for emergency surgery. Inside the operating theater, the medical team prepares for a complicated procedure. The beeping sound of the heart monitor fills the room as surgeons carefully begin the operation. During the surgery, the situation suddenly becomes even more dramatic. The patient's heart rate begins to drop dangerously. For a moment, the entire room freezes as the doctors realize the patient might be slipping away. Immediately, they begin emergency procedures and perform CPR in an attempt to bring his heart back to a stable rhythm. Those few seconds feel incredibly long. Everyone in the room watches the heart monitor closely. Then, suddenly, the patient's heart rate slowly begins to rise again. The team breathes a small sigh of relief and continues the surgery with renewed focus. Back in the emergency department, the young girl's condition also takes an important turn. Doctors finally identify the exact cause of her allergic reaction. After giving the correct medication, her breathing gradually returns to normal. Her parents, who were terrified moments before, are overwhelmed with relief and gratitude. As the episode moves towards its conclusion, the doctors gather briefly in the hospital corridor after the intense cases. They look exhausted but satisfied. Working in emergency medicine is incredibly stressful, but moments like these remind them why they chose this profession.
The accident victim's surgery is successful, and his condition becomes stable. His son thanks the doctors for saving his father's life. It's an emotional moment that reflects the dedication and humanity of the medical staff. By the end of the episode, the hospital returns to its usual busy rhythm. Doctors prepare for the next wave of patients, knowing that new challenges are always just around the corner. This episode of The Pit delivers a powerful mix of suspense, emotion, and realism. It shows not only the intense medical emergencies doctors face every day, but also the human stories behind every patient and every life saved. And that's what makes this series so gripping. The constant battle between life, death, and hope inside the walls of the emergency room.